Hi, I want to talk to you about how I develop a spread, and I wondered if maybe you could uh, talk to me about how you develop spreads because I don't know how other people do it, and I only know how I do it. And sorry, my cat is attacking me. Here he is. Noah, say hi. Good dog. Okay, so I'm gonna set you up here where, well, I'll show you what I got. Oh, my foot's on it. All right, so this is my book where I wrote my spread last night that I just developed. And so I was thinking I would show you what it looks like when I'm doing it. Right? So I've got some like space. I've got my cards out here and I've shuffled them up like I did earlier. So I was just going to say that often when I start developing a spread, I go with the shape. And so initially I took this up here, and this is going to be like my, there's like a special word for it, but it has to do with like the card that's you, okay? I think it's like a significator or something like that. So that'll be it. And then I wanted these four down here to be kind of angled. One, two, and then three, and four. So that's how I laid these out. And they're kind of crooked, you know. This would be, well, here. I'll look down. Okay. So then I started, well, now you don't really need to see down there. Anyway, so I started with this one to be my significator, and I decided this is one of the flips and turns that I like to do. I sort of cut it, and then I flip it up like this, and it's the tower. Let's see here. In this deck, they call it omens, and it's reversed. So this is what that's what your tower would look like in this deck. So it's in reverse, and I read this deck with the reversals the way they're written in her book because, there's been discussion about what we do with reversals, and this video has nothing to do with that. This was just about how I make a spread. So I'm just going to read the cards the way I read them and show you how I made this spread. I decided the top would be my like indicator of me, and I got well, for this draw I get 10, 15, 16 in the BOS deck, Omens, which is the tower, and it's reversed. So it reads this reversed. Reveling in destruction, enjoying other people's troubles, encouraging chaos. Now, that's the reversed of this card. Whenever I notice these behaviors where there's someone enjoying other people's troubles or encouraging chaos or reveling in destruction, I can write this with love. I can write this card with love by turning it over and listening to the other, the upright positions definition, which is trouble ahead, a sudden, unexpected event, seemingly senseless destruction. So when I see the sudden event, when I have a tower card experience, these are the four things, the four aspects that I need to be aware of during this experience. So let's just say I have a tower experience in the future. whether it's like later today or, next week or whatever, I'm going to attempt to think back to this meditation and use it in a manner that would help me then, because I don't feel like I'm in a tower experience right now. I know that they come. I know I've had them in the past. And the fact that it was reversed had a lot more to do with enjoying other people's troubles and encouraging chaos. Well, we all know I don't do that. So I don't really understand how that prevails to me. So I'm going to go on and trust the spread, because down here, these four are the four elements. And I wrote them over here. Card 1 is the person I just told you who I am. Card 2 is in the air realm. So this has to do with beginning to focus and anything that is like a belief system or our air suit. And so what I'll do in tower experiences, what I need to do is this 3 reversed, 3 of water. So I'll read it. The reverse message is, group effort is not going well. The end result may be disappointing. Oh gosh, I know what this tower experience is now. Okay, so the group effort is not going well because I wasn't taking part in the group. So now here I am. Hello, new thing in the air, going from thought to reality here is what I'm going to do when I upright this in love. Three, water. Shit. Having more than enough, putting some by for later, enjoying material pleasures. So, my neighbors are arguing. So, what I need to remember in the air realm is that I have more than enough. I have more than enough, and I'm putting some back for later. I can enjoy my material pleasures. I have plenty. So, in the past, I've had doubt about whether or not I should get online and have an online presence. And now, in the air realm, it's telling me, don't doubt, you're ready. You can have an online presence. So, let's go with the second card, and that will be, the third. The shell realm. So this is water realm. So this is in my relationships. What do I need to know, focus on, do? And I've got the Ace of Earth, brand new beginnings. So brand new beginnings in my relationships. I have to figure out how to do this so that you can see me when I'm talking, and then also see the cards. And there they went. My book fell and shit. So I'm just, I'm figuring this all out, and I'm coming to the table. I'm coming to the party. I'm stepping up on your carousel, so to speak. Okay, 1 of Earth. It's the ace. I'll look it up and read what it says in this book. We all know about aces and the beginnings of stuff, and we all know about the Earth realm, or the Pentacles in Tarot, the suit of Pentacles and what it stands for. Yeah, again, I'm not doing hey, let's learn tarot, let's start at the beginning, what's a suit kind of thing. I'm starting more in the middle, and I'm talking about more how do you use, once you've learned all that shiz, how do you use that and put it together into a way that you can develop a practice, and that You can either be a reader for others, professionally, or just get a little bit more out of your tarot practice personally. So I'm not going to explain all of the suits and all of the, rudimentary tarot stuff. This is more kind of intermediate. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep reading this spread. One of Earth, Ace in the BOS means this. The human body. And here's a pic. Here's what he looks like. He's got the pentacle behind him. All the potential that one could hope for. Anything is possible. That's what I got in my relationship realm of starting a heart-centered business. So everything is possible. That's kind of exciting. Okay, so now I'm going on. My next card in this series would be the Feather Realm, or this one's Air. Gosh, I must have said something wrong before. Air. That one was Shell. This is Air. No, yeah, it is. Okay, shit. All right, so Fire Realm. The third one on the row here. Let me show you. Ferg. See, this is what I said about being like not tech savvy. So this is the one right here. And she's, of course, reversed because that's kind of daft in heaven. And so this is the circle, Hecate, 10, water. We need to take a new perspective, but I'm going to read it out of here. 10, which is a completion in relationships. Completion and a beginning. I just had the very beginning in the earth. Okay, so now let's do 10, water. Hecate, the other world. Oh shit, hope I'm not flashing y'all. The need to take action, even if you are in the dark and in confusion. But the way that I have laid it out for myself this morning, it says, in the reverse position, relying on something other than logic. And what I love about this deck and this card, I always think to myself whenever I get this is relying on something other than logic. Perhaps magic or tarot. I mean, okay, so yeah, in my realm of air. And see, I thought the first one was air, so I'm going to go back and look at what was the first one. I wrote air. Well, where the hell's fire? Air's acorn. Feather. Could feather be fire? Shit. I obviously don't know them because I have them both identified as air. Feather realm. Last night I got the world. Let's see if I go with, this would be fire. This would be creativity. So if I went with what I've already started, air, earth, and this pile is fire. In my fire realm, which is my action, activity, do the magic, yeah, I get the card that says rely on something other than logic. So I'm thinking this is a good spread. Sometimes this happens for me when I first identify working with a picture or a diagram. I get my template out, and then I do it the same every time. I do it over and over and over. I use that one up there for what it means for the querent, who you are, where you're at right now, what's your situation, and then I use these 4 down here to look at in your air realm. Let's discuss, what we need to focus on right now, and then in the earth realm, earth is last. Shell, that's my water, and that's relationships. I look at this, and then in this realm, which should be fire, I use something other than logic, and use Hecate. Look at things in the other perspective, almost a hangman kind of message from this card, that you know from your traditional tarot, but it's also got Hecate and it's also got the eclipse. And that, those are tools I use all the time anyway. So now let's talk about the last realm, which is crystals, and that's earth. And what I got was, in my earthly realm, 3 air. Again, that, the Empress, Maiden Mother Crone, all 3. Hold on, I got a text. Hold on. That was kind of rude, but if I knew how to stop it and start it, I would. I think y'all are maybe figuring out how low tech ability I actually have. It's freaking none. All right, so we're on 3, and this is what realm? Earth. Okay, and in my earthly realm, I've got the Maiden Mother Crone action going on, lots of abundance. No, it's not. It's scrying. It's the chick scrying. Shit, it's not even what I thought I saw. All right, so look at her in the mirror. She has a scrying ball. It's a 3 of air. And in my earthly realm, I need to scry. So let's read what she has to say about that. So how do I wrap my mind around that? All right, in my earthly realm, I need to see something from a different point of view and discover the truth and discern the truth. So in the earthly realm, I do. I look at things way different than people in my surroundings, people in my family, people in my social group. I just, than a lot of people in general. But I also have found that rather than say to myself, oh, I'm freaking nuts, I look at things so differently than everybody else. In the past, it used to make me shut down and shut up. And now, it's like my hair was bumping on this stuff. Okay, and now I want to speak. I want to be bold. I have something to say. These things, I've gone through so much, and I want to help others, and I want to be the crone. So, in order to do that, I can't be so freaking hard on myself. And I need to know that when I feel like I have a message, I mean, I'm not a I'm not a prophet. I have found these cool tools that have helped me find a place where I'm comfortable in my own life, in my own skin, in my own identity, in who I am. And, just saying that out loud and allowing it to give me a sigh of relief and relaxation, that's nice. Because I've been kind of amped up and ramped up lately with a lot of tension and a lack of motivation, but also this angst and this will to do. So, let me just say, I realize this spread's supposed to be about, this video is supposed to be about how I make my spreads, but this is how I make my spreads. I come up with a template, I come up with a picture, I come up with a plan, I put it out in front of me. I see if I like trying to look at things differently in this regard. Like, I've got my subject. I'm going to look at it in all 4 realms of my inner take, like my lens, my view, my focus. And oh, okay, yeah, okay. So like the vision doctor guy, and what's better? Is it A or B? Is it C or D? That kind of thing when you're getting your eyes examined. That's sort of how this helps me. It helps me realign and redefine and hone my focus so I can consider all aspects of a situation before acting upon them. Sometimes I need to, get some new spark of energy or some new muse or some new tool to keep me motivated and keep me able to get out of a, some kind of trend that I'm in. Like I said earlier, I had been really, really anxious. So, not that anybody gives a shit, but I'm here to say if you do, if you have a client who is that you're reading tarot for and they're really anxious and you want to give them advice, think about what have you done during times of anxiety that have, helped you and offer these bits of advice to a client. You could do that. Um, you have every right to do that as a tarot reader. So here I am, having whisked away in my life, and I've gotten to this point where once in a while I get a good idea and things are helpful, and I do some stuff and it helps me and it helps others. Once in a while I get in a really tight jam, and I really need help, and I've reached out to a few people in the tarot community on Facebook and met some really lovely folks, and they have a little bit of a presence, um, and I've reached out to some people online who have like this vast presence, like Joanna DeVoe and Kellyanne Maddox, and people that I consider, gurus on the YouTube witchy tarot community sites. And I've watched their stuff for a long time. And I've watched Kellyanne say this, I watched other people's stuff and I was lurking and blah, blah, blah. And so I got in her group, and we had a discussion about, well, it was, it's not really a discussion because it's like on Facebook. So I'm watching the Facebook thing. Oh, shit, the guys next door are painting. They're going to open that window. I'm going to be so embarrassed. I don't know if I can keep going. So I was watching her totally open. Windows totally open the whole time. So I was watching her Facebook video live chat feed thing that like popped up in some kind of notification-y bell item on the Facebook. So I clicked on the bell thing. I saw Kelly Maddox's name and I clicked on it, and it's like, hey, in like an hour and a half, I'm going to be doing this live deal. And I'm like, holy shit, that's great, because I've never done this once. I've done it once before, and I did it with Rising Appalachia, who is this musical group who I absolutely adore. God, there's a long story behind that. Okay, so calm down. Go, think back to Omarosa, okay? All right. So I have plenty of time. I'm just going to calm down and tell you. Okay, so I got a little bit lost just now. So I guess I have to go back and look at it. Anyway, let me try and like form my thoughts together again. This must be why people have notes, right? This is why you people do the notes. Okay, I don't do it like that. And Kellyanne had said on her business, heart-centered business um, chat, that we're not all doing it the same. We're all doing it different, but she wants us to do it more out loud and in front of one another. And if that's our desire, she's not like encouraging people who have no desire to do that. No, she's saying, hey, you're in this heart centered business. You want to invite people and not have crickets. All right. So I'm stepping out and I'm inviting people. And so I back on track. So what I'm inviting you to do is show me how you develop a spread, because this is how I'm developing this particular spread, is how I'm looking at certain situations in the perspectives of the elements in order to give me more of like a funnel. um, you know it just gives me a different perspective on how to look at shit in my own life. So I'm thinking this would be helpful for someone. I could use this for a querent, a client, or someone who is a family member who just comes and sits with me and says, read my cards. So that's how I do it. I start with a picture, and then I do it like daily or however frequently, and I keep it written down because I have like a shit ton of all this writing paraphernalia like Kellyanne does, and like Joanna DeVoe does, and like I suppose a lot of people who have our particular kind of crazy do. So yeah, so I have like for a while had a book that was just spreads, and when I would work on a spread, I would do it in this one book. Actually, I'm looking at it. It's up there. It's a spiral, and that worked for a while. And then I started branching out from there and not doing so much spread development, but working on learning different decks. Now, I could do a video on just my method of deck learning. Perhaps I ought. Maybe I should have a notepad, write something like that down. But this particular one, my challenge to all of you viewers is in your ineptitude of, use of the technology, or in your fear of what am I going to look like and I don't look like them, and I'm no good at this and I don't have practice, or in any of those like realms that you go through that keep you from acting out onto your goal of running a heart-centered business. um, Set that shit aside. Step up, step out. Let's be encouraging for one another, and let's just do a few videos, even if it's not your thing. Now, some of you on here that watch Kellyanne and y'all are in her group thing, y'all already have channels and stuff. Like I see your little circle face on the Facebook, and I think, oh, I bet they have like a channel thing. And so some people I've gone to them, but I don't know my way around this infra wiry no wire web places. I just don't have the understanding of how to navigate the intrawebs. So I'm going to need some help with that. So what I'm asking y'all to do is let me know if you see this, and like give it a thumbs up, even give it a thumbs down. I don't give a shit, but I don't know how to work the YouTube thing, so I need your help. And then also do one of these. Do one of these. Show me, please. Show me. I mean, I don't mean to beg, but show me how you do it. How do you come up with spreads? Because, like, I have other spreads that I've designed, and I seem to start with a picture, and then I seem to, like, use it a few times, and it's almost like the cards show me what the different individual spread positions need to be. Like once I did a spiral, I did the Fibonacci spiral because I had this real cool deck, the Psychic Tarot deck that I've given to Erin. But hi, Erin. But I liked the Fibonacci spiral all over the deck. I mean, it was just symbolic throughout. So I decided, well, this deck's going to look cool in a Fibonacci spiral. So I laid it out. And then each one I turned over sort of discussed this one aspect of me uh, as I read it, because it's my perspective. I was doing a self spread. So the first, and then, I didn't want to start with past, present, future, la la la. So I started with, I believe I started with eternity, or something huge, and then I narrowed it down and went past and then present, or something like that. But as I went around the spiral, I brought it inward to our perception of others and their perceptions of us, and what the actual catalyst, what the actual fire kind of spark initiative thing that one would need in a situation that would be in this spot. And so like it was like I keep thinking, oh, these are normal tarot pieces and moves, and let's go deeper, 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 deeper. And I let the spiral and that concept drive the development of that spread, of what each position of the spread meant. I did another one, the Paisley Lotus spread, because the name of our company group thing that my daughter and I came up with was Paisley Lotus. Okay, it's a business. It's a heart-centered business. I don't need to make a funny face when I say that. So, okay, so we came up with this 7 years ago. And I've been working on it ever since, and I've had these huge, massive chunks of time and life and events interrupt the progress of the business, and then I was letting that, batter me down and just get defeated. I guess I was letting it. I mean, I was fighting against it so much, but I was also fighting all of this stuff. I felt like I was fighting all this stuff in the life, and it was just so hard. It took so much energy. And so once in a while, I would have to just set the business down completely and then wait for like someone to get well, or someone to get born, or someone to die, or, someone to something. And now it's time again. It's like I've got this, like, it's almost like treadmill, 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 go after it, go after it, go after it. Stop. Got to get off. Got to go do this other thing because it's absolutely massive. Get back on the treadmill, treadmill, treadmill. Okay, stop. Life is interrupting that. And so I decided, you know what, this is just a maddening and frustrating, infuriating way to look at life. How about I look at the whole life? And sometimes I get to get on my treadmill, and sometimes I get to get up and stand up in my goddess and be, spiritually sovereign. And sometimes I get to be strong and powerful, but sometimes life can just have a way of reaching up and grabbing you and setting you down, okay? Sets you there, makes you still for whatever reason. Somebody's sick, somebody's dying, someone's around you that needs you, someone's around you who needs your life, someone's celebrating. You know, these events occur all around us at all times, and we have the opportunity to sit here and perceive them. And depending on the lens through which we look, and depending on the reality we are experiencing, it changes. The perspective and our view and our focus changes, and that's perfectly normal. So I had to develop some tools to keep me, I don't want to say sane, but yeah, to keep me fucking sane, to make sure I'm not just losing it. And at times, I am good. I'm okay. I'm emotionally healthy. Things are skating along. Things are swimming. I've got wind in my sails. I'm, it's life and I'm handling it, or I'm not. But there's always periods where either me or somebody I know or someone near me or someone around me or one of my patients or one of my clients or one of my friends or the world or my community needs me. And there's always times where I need them. And sometimes we are in alignment with that and sometimes we're not. And I found some tools that I feel like help me, and I feel like I want to help others and I want to be part of this. So I'd like to know, how do you develop spreads? The Paisley Lotus spread I do, good God, it's 30 minutes. Nobody's going to watch it this long. The Paisley Lotus spread I do is the one that I use to do my first spread with people because I like to get a nice generalized history of what's going on and like a big scope, kind of a binoculars look at shit. Um, yeah, it's lenses. There's a lot of lenses. So in it, I have the image of Paisley lotus, the image of a lotus where it's growing in the mud. That's the root system down under the water. That's the position of person's history. And then the part that's growing up to the surface of the water, that's the stem part, the growing, the reaching. That's what it took for you to get to where you're at right now on the surface of the water. So the surface of the water spread position is where you are right now. And then, let's see, the one on this side, the card on, oh, sorry, my leg's there. The card on this side then is something that's against you. And the card on this side is your superpower, your personal power. And so those things kind of face one another. And then these two more petals that go out, those are two outside influences. So that's not within the querent or within your subject matter. It's outside influences coming in. And then the one in the center, the card that goes in the center is a possible future outcome. And I don't know, I might have missed one. Roots, stem, where you are right now, what's against you, what your superpower is, how you can use that to work in your advantage. And then two, outside influences, to identify that there are outside influences, at work. And then the last could be a possible future outcome. So I do that like for my first spread with Querence to kind of get a feel and a read for how we interact with one another. It's kind of like a conversation opener spread. And then, uh, wait, that's not why I'm talking about this one. It's not what I use the spread for, it's how I devise the spread. So that's the thing. I want to know, how do y'all devise your spreads? Do you do your own? Do you use only spreads you've heard out of books? Do you use only spreads you've seen that other people have written? Or are you into like spread design? I know, our gurus like Kelly Maddox gets up on there and talks about her spread design, but and what all the cards would mean. But I kind of want to know the meat behind that. How do you come up with them? What are your inspirations? Not that I want to use your inspirations. I just want to um, I want to know what inspires you, because I like to talk about what inspires me. I want to know what inspires other people. I I could get some great ideas off of you guys that I don't even know exist yet. And I'm sure I could share a few, and that's my intention. And if you made it to 36 minutes, you're a queen, you're a goddess. Get back to me. Let me know how you design a spread, or just comment. Thanks.